Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure for me to be here with you today. And this little bit of blip in me getting on here, I think is going to tie perfectly in with my topic today on our need now for compassion more than ever with ourselves. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that I am not a medically trained doctor, physician, or mental health professional. So I'm simply sharing personal advice and my area of expertise along the way. If you are needing to be under the care of a physician or trained medical health professional, I advise you to seek that care for it. My work here today is just sharing my own area of expertise and advice, not under the guidance of being a trained medical doctor. Well, I am Nancy Stevens, and I am a joyful member of the Wellness Universe. I love being here. Everyone here is so helpful, kind, loving, and such a strong sense of community. I believe I've been a member of the Wellness Universe, I want to say, for probably 3, almost 4 years. I enjoy being an ambassador with the Wellness Universe. I have the wonderful role of greeting new members when they onboard, and I am a blogger as well with the Wellness Universe. So those things are just wonderful to me to do. I also, there we go, just checking a message. I also work on behalf of myself. I am a businesswoman. I have a practice as a life coach and a health coach. So when I am not being an ambassador and blogging, I have my own business as a life and health coach. And I also teach a lot of mind body classes, yoga and Pilates bar, just to amongst the few. So my whole area of expertise lies in lifestyle, self-love, and self-care. So that is a little bit about me. So my topic today, one that is very near and dear to my heart, is that of self-care under the beautiful umbrella of mindfulness, and especially right now where we are in the world with the coronavirus, having so many things seemingly change almost hourly, that of compassion. And so I'm going to lay out some beautiful, what I hope to be tips and tools for you to use and take away and apply as you live your day-to-day life in this time, and also just going forward in day-to-day life. So my first little area of business is that of mindfulness. So how can we apply compassion and these beautiful tools and tips unless we are being intentionally mindful? And what that means is simply being present in the moment that you are in, which is this moment. So if you're here live with me right now, you are being mindful. Mindful does not ask us to tap into what I call the near past or go forward into the near future. It asks us to simply be where we are and connect with our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, connect to our world with our physical senses, our hearing, taste, touch, and sight, and by noticing our environment. For instance, what is the weather like? What is the landscape of my thoughts? What am I eating? How does it taste? So making that beautiful self-aware, noticing choice to be present with your physical environment surroundings, to be present with the surroundings of your emotional environment, and to be present with all of your 5 senses, and that 6th sense, that intuition as well. So in order for us to be able to find compassion and apply it, we want to be able to tap into being mindful. Again, mindful is simply diving into being self-aware and noticing what is going on in the moment. For without this piece of you tapping into your thoughts and feelings, your senses, your physical environment, it would be a little bit of a barrier to then tap into and apply compassion and self-compassion. There we go. So that was Mindfulness 101 and how we can bridge that into finding and cultivating self-compassion and compassion. So, why do we need self-compassion and compassion? Well, in order for you to feel nurtured, tended to, and cared for, that the gift of caring lovingly for yourself, your emotional needs, your physical needs, and that of others, you need to come at this from a place of genuine care and love. That is a big foundation. And I had a conversation with a friend yesterday who said, my self-care is gone out the window. And I thought, wow, this segue is so good with what I'm speaking of. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and myself included, that with the undercurrent of uncertainty that is coming our way right now with the coronavirus, with all of the changes taking place day to day with our home routine, our work routine, our family routine, our social routine, there is uncertainty. And I think when we tap into the uncertainty of what is, we seem to place our wants and needs and care kind of out there somewhere else, as we are spending a lot of our energy, our emotional energy and physical energy, trying to sort and sift and figure out how to best be present and deal with everything else that is going on. But I'm here to tell you that as we are able to reel in all of the energy that we are giving to our environment, our home environment, for working virtually, if we're homeschooling, doing virtual caregiving, we need to harness that and give that to ourselves. For when we don't allow ourselves to take care of our wants and needs with compassion, then we have all this displaced energy that's just, I call it, seeping out of us so much that maybe we're feeling really depleted. And that can look like fatigue, maybe being frustrated, just being really foggy or unclear, not able to focus. I know I've had that. And just not being able to kind of touching on one activity to the other, but really maybe not really being able to dive in and handling that as well as we could. This is exactly what occurred to me when all of the coronavirus information simply just hit in wave upon wave upon wave. With my training in mindfulness, I began to initially do a lot of reacting, feeling like it was my job to put out all of these fires that were taking place. What? We're not going to have this. What? This has happened. We need to social distance. We need to do this. We can't do that. We should do this. Oh my gosh, my mind was awash with so many emotions and to-dos that I began to feel very fatigued and drained. And at first I thought, gosh, get over this. I need to step up into this. Or I was also a little confused. I'm healthy. What's going on? And it wasn't until a thought hit me that, wow, I'm gonna go find a quiet, distraction-free place to sit and simply process everything. I'm going to give myself permission to do a little mini brain dump and sort and sift possibilities as to what is where these physical feelings are coming from and where these emotional ones, and what occurred when I gave myself permission and access to be present with everything that I was feeling physically and emotionally, was that the rug had been pulled out from under me. My lifestyle and routine as I knew it had been completely changed. And I know that's the same for you as well. Everything that had given me meaning and purpose, day-to-day routine stuff, had been pulled out from under me, leaving me feeling spinning and reeling and really disconnected. And when I was able to connect to this truth, universal truth, my truth, whew, I breathed a sigh of relief and simply gave myself a literal and physical hug. That it was okay for me to have my feelings of feeling uncertain, a little fearful, and just really out of balance. I gave myself permission to feel these feelings and not try to justify them or excuse them or push them away or say they weren't real. I just felt them. And even by doing that, I had a little bit more energy and more clarity to take care of the things that were mine. And being in this place, I gave myself permission to say, what do I need right now? Well, I certainly didn't need to give myself more tasks and things to do. I took off those things to do. The meal prepping and kitchen duties were closed on that day and for the next day because this was really energy draining to me. I gave myself and my family permission. We're going to order takeout. The dishes are going to sit where they're at. And I know for some that would be like, oh my gosh, no way. But this was my little personal gift of giving myself permission to sit and be where I was with compassion. And as I breathed compassion into my thoughts and feelings and emotions, I had ability to have greater and extend greater compassion to everyone else. Because guess what? If I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, certainly so too are all of us. It is not just me, it is the world. So some things that we can do, some helpful tools and tips to extend mindful compassion to ourselves as a way of living our lives for the next bit in our new normal, not knowing what this time length is going to be, just to be. So the first thing that I did was to notice that I was feeling out of balance, agitated and frustrated, and to just pause, to pause where I was. Now, I like to sit quietly. You may be able to take a walk in nature. You may have a special place in your home office or in your home or somewhere special that you can just sit and be where you are. And so that's the first thing that I did when all of this came on was I gave myself to sit in quiet and stillness and pause and gather in all of the information that the universe was sharing with me. Where was I feeling this physically in my body? To really notice that. For me, it was a real big tightness in my hips and in my sacrum area. I carry a lot of life and emotions there. So I named where I was feeling it physically. I didn't just push it away. And from that place, I asked myself, what does this mean for me emotionally? So where this physical place is giving space for me to call out emotions that are that are coming up in me. So I connected the physical, where I was feeling it, to the emotional need and the emotion present. When I was able to name that emotion from the physical, a sense of calm came over me, and I knew I wasn't crazy, that what I was feeling was real and it was mine. And I did so with a sense of care and love. And when I gave myself care and love, a deeper calm came over me and a deeper ability of clarity and focus came over me to then get up and lovingly weave myself back into the things that were mine to do today. A big deal as well during this time is our need for sleep. Sleep is replenishing, it is revitalizing, and it is needed for our body, our brain, our whole being to function. And I know I've heard from a lot of people, clients of mine and friends, that their sleep has been really disrupted. The emotional uncertainty has fallen into their brain, making their minds overactive, processing the what ifs, the how comes, the whys, the what now, landing in their body, really generating a lot of heavy energy, really affecting our ability to even go to sleep, fall asleep, and stay asleep. Sleep is vital. And when we're not able to generate energy and renewal from sleep, how we are the next day is impacted. Not having focus or clarity, maybe feeling more anxious or increasing feelings of depression. So many things are impacted. So I urge you with love to really focus as best you can on making a beautiful place to sleep. Maybe dialing yourself back from social media, from electronics, from news, or anything that's going to get your brain firing. Maybe taking, if you can find a supplement that works for you, there are some natural ones out there. Maybe enjoying a relaxing herbal tea, listening to calming music, employing an app on your phone that might have a meditation, or really making your sleep space really inviting, maybe some aromatherapy oils, making the temperature just right, your room setting just right, doing all that you can to make your sleep area inviting, calming, and an invitation for your brain, your body to lie into some good rest. Listening to things that your body needs. All of us have different needs. For me, I listen to myself. If I started to get agitated at night or more up, I know that my body is wanting me to answer that by preparing myself for a good sleep. And I do feel way better, high functioning when I rest well. As if I have a fitful, poor sleep, it really impacts my day. So this is something for you to look at and into with compassion. The next thing you want to do is really look into your food habits right now and your hydration habits. It can be very easy as we feel like we're in a state of waiting. So maybe we're putting our knowledge of what it looks like and feels like to eat more whole, organic, or uplifting foods. Maybe we're pushing that to the wayside and just eating what makes us feel good. And yes, it is good to eat comfort foods, as they are kind of can be a friend to us in times of need or uncertainty. Maybe they're a reward. Maybe they are filling the void of boredom or feeling disconnected. But if we're constantly eating foods that are not life affirming and really nutritional, that can deplete our energy. It can increase fatigue. It can increase a lack of clarity and focus. So take a good look at the foods you are eating, and if at all possible, add in those fresh fruits and vegetables, grains, foods that are not super refined or over processed or high in sodium or a lot of fat or sugar, kind of basic stuff. But really good eating as best you can really does matter at this time. And yes, it is important to also enjoy foods that give you comfort. I am doing that as well. Looking at your hydration needs. Again, if we're spending a lot of time in uncertainty of fitting into this new way of living, again, we can just kind of ignore what was a normal day-to-day thing, something as easy as hydration. So kind of check in with how you are hydrating yourself with probably non-caffeinated or very low sugar food drinks that are not processed with a lot of added stuff, just good old-fashioned water. This can really improve your brain function and your energy function as well. So the needs of sleep, having good nutrition and hydration are vital as a compassionate means for you to take care of yourself now. Really big deal, taking things one day at a time. We don't know what we don't know. So trying to forecast all of our energy and what we think is going to take place in the news today for tomorrow gives us this heightened sense of operating on all cylinders, but it's energy draining. I admit right now, I don't know what's going to go on tomorrow. What's the president going to say? What's the world going to say? I don't know. So I'm giving myself permission to live in today. I'm going to take care of everything I can in my world and in all of my social connections as best I can today. I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to forecast what I think is going to happen tomorrow or next week or the remainder of this month. Doing so for me is going to take me out of living in the moment, and it's going to make me agitated and uneasy And I'm not going to be able to give totally, completely, and fully of my beautiful energy and knowledge and expertise to my family, my home, and to my business. So I'm going to take things with compassion one day at a time. I don't know what I don't know. This is a time like no other. And finally, as I shared with you, what I did in the beginning when I felt myself out of balance and I took a moment to pause and notice, what I am doing right now more than ever is I'm giving myself permission to be quiet and still each day. I've designated for me, upon waking in the morning before my day gets started, I've designated that beautiful quiet space in my home that is distraction free, where I can be completely still and silent as a means of grounding and centering my energy for what is yet to be in this day. This to me is a vital key ingredient with compassion that I can do to really have more clarity, focus, and certainty with how I'm going to manage my energy, how I'm going to manage my emotions, and what kind of energy and emotions I'm going to have to give to others. If you are very new to meditation and the thought of being still and silent just seems out of nowhere, what you can do is what I did when I first started was, it seems counterintuitive, but set a timer on your phone for 2 minutes or find an app and just give yourself that 2 minutes of being intentionally still and silent. As you do this over time, your body will get used to this, your brain will get used to this, and you'll be able to add in a little bit more and more time to be still and silent. And your body and your mind and brain will flow into this beautiful life force of meditation. And this is a vital thing that I do for myself every day. I do it more than once now, but when I first started years ago, all I could do was 2 minutes. That was more than enough for me. My mind was so active. My body and my mind were at odds. But as I brought into this habit, it has grown me into being where I am now. And I hope that you have enjoyed some beautiful takeaways on involving compassion into your lifestyle with mindfulness to help you navigate how to live in our new normal. And I hope you will use these not only for you, but you will use them in your day to day, in your personal day, and in your work as well. It has been my pleasure to be here with you this morning, sharing and teaching and feeling your beautiful energy of caring and connection with me as well. And I'm going to pause for a little bit. If any of you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to discuss and share with you. I'm Nancy Stevens, a member of the Wellness Universe, my family, my home, and it's such a pleasure for me to be here with you today. Thank you so much. Bye for now.